Okay. All right. We've waited for about 3 more minutes. Is this 2 more minutes? So we're just going to get right into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome from wherever you're joining us from. Could you please drop in the chat box where you are joining us from, like, currently the city and country you are in. For instance, my name is Miriam. Hi, everyone. And I'm joining this conversation from Lagos, Nigeria. So, that's basically just what I wanted to do. Drop where you're listening from or participating from in the chat box so we know our people and we can say a proper hello to you. But hello everyone. Oh, hi, Yusuf from Osun State, Nigeria. Hello. Okay, good day. It is 12:05 my time, but so it's basically afternoon. But hello, good day, good morning. Hello, Lamisi from Accra. Hi, Felix from Kenya. It's very lovely to see everyone. I know that as a community, we have about 10, I think, 10 countries represented, or it's a little above 10 right now. So I'm not quite sure, but we have about 10 African countries represented here, including Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Uganda, and a few others. I know that there's Egypt as well. And so it's really lovely to see everyone joining from all of these countries. We started the hub about a couple of months ago. It's like this month 7 of being in business, and we've grown this large. We've grown this strong, and it's really humbling and lovely to see. So really thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of the entire team's heart. Thank you. I used to say that it is one thing to organize an event, no matter how brilliant you can have all the brilliant topics in the world, you can bring on the brilliant speakers, anything really. But it's true success is then when people show up, and not just show up, participate, and they're able to drive actions after the event. Basically taking what they've learned, what they've done into practice, stuff like that. So really thank you for being here. This is one of many events that we've had this year, and this is one of many events that we will continue to have. And it is supposed to be a workshop today. It's supposed to be a little bit more technical than certain conversations that we've had, so just sit tight. The theme today is Agentic AI Workshop. And yeah, it's really something that I encourage you to pay keen attention to learning, right? So grab your notepads, grab your pens, make sure that you're using either earphones or headphones or pods, whatever that can just help you curate better attention. Let's just do that, right? Because today we are stepping into a new chapter of how humans build, think, and create, a chapter that is shaped by agentic AI. And I'm sure that many of us might not have heard that term. And the understanding of it will come today anyways. So the idea is this, that we thought about it, and as a team, we realized that for years we've talked about automation, we've talked about intelligence, we've talked about super intelligence, but agency is different, right? Agency is what happens when AI stops being a passive tool and starts becoming an active collaborator, one that can reason, take initiative, handle complexity, operates the level of autonomy that mirrors how we delegate to real teammates. That's basically what agentic AI surrounds. And that shift really does change everything if you look at it. And I read the copy that Digital Strategy sent out, and they said I was going to be dropping gems in this conversation. I didn't realize I was supposed to drop gems as well, but here's the first gem. I'd want you to hold on to as we kick this off. Agentic AI is not here to replace your thinking. There are a lot of interesting conversations about this on social media, on panels, on summits. And the reality is this: that agentic AI is not here to replace your thinking. It is here to extend it. It doesn't remove the human mind or the human from the loop. It simply stretches what that loop can do. And then second gem, so that I drop my gems and let the speaker, let our tutor for today, go ahead, is that you don't need to know everything to start. You only need to know what is possible. Once you understand the shape of the future, you can build your own path into it. And that is such, it's a spiritual principle. It's a practical principle, and it's a very much effective principle in our contemporary world, right? Once you understand the shape of the future, you're able to build your own path into it. You can design agents to think with you, build with you, scale their impact in ways that felt impossible even 2 years ago. And the third gem I'll drop is this: agency unlocks leverage. When you build an agent, you're not just building a workflow, you're creating a worker who never gets tired, who learns in seconds, who can orchestrate dozens of tools at once, and who expands your capability without expanding your stress and increasing your anxieties. And this workshop is it's not about the hype of what agentic AI is. It's not about the hype of what agency can be and what it can help us do. It's about clarity. It's about giving you the framework, the mental framework, the technical understanding, the hands-on experience to leave this workshop confident in a way, not just confident, but also really curious as well, because we really value curiosity as a community, and not feeling overwhelmed. Confidence that you can help build and use agentic systems. So by the time that we are done with this workshop, for those of you might be here for our events for the very first time ever, or those of you who might be listening to the replay of this on YouTube, by the time you're done, you're supposed to have understood what makes an AI agent different from a traditional model, how to architect agentic workflows, how to design, for reasoning, safety, reliability, and all of the important thematic areas we like to cover when designing, right? And how to actually deploy these agents to deliver real value and not just theoretical gists. So as we begin, I want you to keep one very, very important question in mind. What would I build if intelligence and initiatives were no longer bottlenecks? I think that's something I've been thinking about it myself, so I have to write it down somewhere. What would I build if intelligence and initiative were no longer bottlenecks in my work, in my flow, my processes ever? Because I really, really believe, and I really hope that after today, there will not be. So we're going to get started, right? Right about now. Our speaker is here with us, or rather, our tutor is here with us today. And just to quickly say hello to everyone, because I did promise it. Hi, Wilson from Kenya, Julian from Kenya, Christopher from Kenya, Kenya people. Whoop, whoop. I really love to see you guys join. It's so lovely, because I think you're even more than the Nigerians in the community. Okay, Carol from Kenya as well, Vanessa from Accra, Ghana, Susan from Osun State. Oh, that's really lovely. Okay, yeah, brilliant. Okay, so today, like I said, we have a very brilliant speaker, and if you've attended our community events before, you know that the one thing that we thrive at doing is bringing on brilliant speakers and brilliant women to join conversations such as this to deliver value to you. So we have with us Hope Kerubo. I really hope I pronounced that properly. I should have asked Grace to pronounce it for me before now. Sorry, but Hope is with us, and Hope is an NLP machine learning engineer, and she's a research assistant at MCAAI. And today she's going to basically be walking us around the concept, first of all, introducing what agentic AI is to us, opening our eyes to the possibilities, going a bit technical and non-technical, just creating a balanced approach to the theme. And again, like I said, our goal with this is that you're able to leave here with better confidence and clarity as regarding the possibilities of what artificial intelligence can do for you and the fields that you work in or the fields that you are trying to improve, right? So keep your pens close, keep your books close as well. Write, ask your questions. If during while she's teaching, you have a question or two, you could just drop it in the chat box or wait till she's done, and then you raise your hand and we would attend to your questions. Here at AIBIA and here at the Women's Hub, African Women AI Hub, we encourage you to ask your questions, right? Just ask away, because it's meetings like this or conversations like this are the most effective when people get to find clarity to, or when people get to find answers to the questions that they do have. So welcome to Agentic AI Workshop. It's my privilege to host you today, but I'm really not doing the heavy lifting. Hope is going to be doing all of that. So I'm just going to be here with you, listening as well and learning. So yes, and a quick note, please keep your microphones muted while our speaker is teaching, so that there are no distractions whatsoever for her. We really don't want her to lose her line of thought at any point in time. But if you do have a question along the way, please, again, like I said, drop it in the comments and we'll attend to it as many as we can as time permits us. This is supposed to be for an hour. I know that it's a short time for such a broad concept, but like I said, this is one of many that we've had, one of many events that we've had, and it's one of many events that we will have. So let's just sit tight and do what we can do today. When you do ask your questions for later, make sure you do so as kindly and as warmly as possible. All right. And as sensitively as possible, and respect every other person's opinions here on the call. But with a round of virtual applause this Saturday afternoon or morning or evening, let's welcome Hope. Hope, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miriam. I don't know if you guys can see me. Please confirm.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miriam and Grace, for granting me this opportunity. I'm very honored. My name is Hope Kerubo. I'm a research assistant at a lab in the Maseno University. It's a university in Kenya. So I'm really happy to see a lot of Kenyans here. So I don't know if it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, since I have had that journey from all over the continent. I'm very happy to be here. So it's a workshop, but I'm going to have to talk a little bit so that we can move into the exciting part. Allow me to share my screen. Just a minute. Okay, if at any point I'm not audible or if there's any issue, please feel free to reach out. I will not be seeing my screen. So if you have any question, please, Miriam, you can let me know. Sorry, I muted. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen just fine.
Okay. So we are looking at moving beyond AI, which has actually been normally used as a simple tool, and now we are going to pure automation. Okay, so we are looking at the next major evolution where AI doesn't just process data or create content, but it actually takes actions on its own, with or without our guidance. Okay, so this is agentic AI. a minute. Okay, now AI, as we all know it, has been with us for quite a while. And the traditional AI that we started with was one that would take data, analyze the data, learn the patterns. Then, after that, it could make a decision. Okay. And the decisions had to be based on the type of data that you have specifically provided the AI. Now, we moved from that and went to generative AI. And generative focused more on creation. It could create new text, new content, and also new code. As you all know, most of us use generative AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini. And an example would be asking it to help you generate a code for a certain function. And I'm sure we have all tried, most of us who are in tech. So moving on, we go to the main one, our main topic today, which is Agentic AI, which instead of just creating content for you, it plans, acts, and also completes processes for you. Okay. Now, an example would be, you see how you could generate code with ChatGPT. Now, with Agentic AI, instead of just generating the code for you, it could actually debug, fix any bugs that are in the code, test, and then finally send it to your GitHub repo. All this without you having to prompt it physically or yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So, what is agentic AI? Now, just a minute. Okay, as I've explained before, moving on to agentic AI, it actually plans for you, executes, and makes decisions for you. Now, with generative AI, you have to prompt it yourself. For example, you'll not wake up to ChatGPT giving you code. You'll have to personally prompt the type of code that you want for it to generate. Now, with agentic AI, we call it proactive. It can actually perform actions without you asking it to perform them each and every time. So for you to have agentic AI, it has to have a goal. You need to have a specific goal for that particular agent for it to work. Okay. So it works more or less in a continuous circle, starting with achieving the environment, reasoning how to act, and then finally achieving the goal. So let's take an example of an inventory system. Okay. If you have implemented agentic AI in your inventory system, number one, it's gonna see or it's gonna check when the inventory is low. Okay. Once it has realized that the inventory is low, it's gonna find a way to get a supplier and place an order. So remember, you have an inventory system that runs on agentic AI. So it checks and sees that the inventory is low, then proceeds to find a supplier, and not just a supplier, but the best supplier for that particular product, and places an order for you. Okay. So once it has placed an order, it pays, and all you get is the products for the inventory that was low. So you can imagine having such a system in a big setup like a supermarket. Now, there is quite a few conversations around agentic AI and AI agents because they seem quite similar. But now, agentic AI is more like the entire system. Okay, so you have a system that is called agentic AI, and AI agents are the components found inside that particular system. I hope that is a bit clear. So looking at how AI has evolved, we've moved from generative AI into agentic AI. And some of the advantages that come with having an agentic AI system, number one is autonomy. Okay. By autonomy, we mean that an agent can operate without constant human oversight. If you create an agent, for example, the example you used for an inventory system, you don't have to keep checking every time whether the agent has checked the inventory to see if it's running low. Once you have given it a goal, and the goal for that particular agent is to make sure that the inventory never runs low, it will keep that process continuous. Okay, so you never have to find that your inventory is low because you have an agent that does that for you. So the second key feature of agentic AI is the goal orientation. Once you have given the agent a job, it does that tirelessly and continuously, ensuring that it achieves the goal, number one, in the best way possible, and also making sure that it achieves all the objectives for that particular goal. Now, looking at it from the inventory part again, an agentic AI system is aware of the context. So if at any point you get to change the inventory of that particular system, the agent will adapt to the new changes and find the best actions around the changes that you have made to that inventory system. Okay. Now, remember, with agentic AI, all you have to do is to give it a goal. You don't have to worry about how it's going to do it. It's going to do it on its own. All that you need to know is the goal has to be very specific. Okay. So if the goal is specific, don't worry about how the agent is going to do it. It's going to achieve that particular goal. Now, I have a table here that compares the three types of the traditional AI, generative AI, and agentic AI, most of which I've already mentioned in the slides prior. Now, what I haven't mentioned is the aspect of decision making. With the traditional AI model, first and foremost, you have to provide it with the data for it to work around. Okay, so the traditional AI is statistical. It only works with facts and statistics. Okay, and number two, it's rule-based. Can only come up with the predictions. So if you have provided it with data, you can either ask it questions like yes or no questions. Okay, you cannot ask a traditional AI model to generate new content for you. Now, as we move on to the generative AI aspect, it now responds to prompts. Yes, it can create new content for you, but you as a human have to personally prompt it however you want your responses to be. Okay. Now, with agentic AI, again, as I have said, you give it a goal and it takes all the steps to achieve that particular goal. Now, the advantage about agentic AI is it will find the best path itself. Okay? You don't have to find the best path for it to follow. It will do that on its own. With agentic AI, once you have set the goal, that is it. So there is minimal to no supervision and monitoring as a human. But now, look at ChatGPT. How many times have you tried searching for something and getting an answer that is completely off what you wanted? Okay. How many times have you tried to reprompt your prompts or to modify your prompts to make sure that you get the response that you want? I don't know if you can get my point on that. So in case I drop off, please do let me know. After knowing the definition of agentic AI, now how does it work? It works in the workflow of an AI agent is mostly in 4 steps. The first one is instruction. Again, you have to give it an instruction. So the instruction comes from the human. Okay. You need to have a prompt for your AI agent. Now, the planning itself is done by the AI agent. So you don't take place in the planning. where it breaks that particular prompt or goal that you have set into several tasks. Okay. After it has divided them into several tasks, because again, I am not sure if I mentioned, but Agentic AI is a step-by-step workflow. It goes from one decision or one step to the next step. After applying all the steps and all the tasks, it now goes to refine. Okay. After refining, it now executes and gives you the goal. Again, we're going to see an example of that practically when we'll be doing the practical bit. So we can look at that then. For AI agents, sorry, for Agentic AI, we said Agentic AI is the entire system, and AI agents are the components in that particular system. So for you to come up with an Agentic AI system, you have to deal with agents. Could be one, could be several, but again, you need an AI agent for you to accomplish or for you to have an Agentic AI system. Now, what are the components of an agent? Okay. The first thing, again, is the most important, is the prompts. The agent needs to know what it's doing, because with Agentic AI, we have seen that it's goal-based. It needs to work towards a particular goal. So if you don't set a goal for your Agentic AI system, then you will not get your desired results. So for you to create an agent, number one, you need a prompt. So a prompt will, number one, get to give the agent a scope that it could work around. It defines the methods of how it could do that job. And also it defines the constraints of that particular agent. After getting the prompts, we need a memory for an agent to work. Okay. So a memory is where an agent will store its past and the context. As you said, for an AI agent, it decides on the best paths to make. You don't get to decide the process. You only decide the end goal. Now, for it to know the best path or the best process to take, it needs to store the paths that it has taken before and find the best path. So an agent needs to have a memory for it to store the past experiences and also for it to get the context and store the particular context that you want. Okay. And third, which is actually more like the instruments of the agent, we need the tools. The tools could be APIs, services. For example, if you are creating an agent that gets to send you an email after it has achieved the goal, the service on this side would be the email. Okay. So for an AI agent, you need a prompt. A prompt will get to define the goal, the constraints, and the methods. You need a memory for you to store all the past experiences and the context of that particular agent. And third, which is again very important, you need the tools, whether it's APIs or services that will help the agent to achieve that particular goal. Now, where do you apply Agentic AI? A lot of places. As you know, AI is all over. It's in every sector. So every sector that you could use technology could use AI, and most importantly, could use Agentic AI. Now let's take these examples. We have a few here listed. You can look through. For example, in the healthcare sector, you can use an AI agent to monitor a patient's real-time data. Okay. Now you can personalize an agent to work to one particular patient, and it gets to check their maybe heart rate, the blood sugar, and get to adjust the dosage based on the requirements of that particular patient. Okay. Now look at cybersecurity, which is actually a very critical discipline in the tech industry. You could use AI agents to continuously monitor the network traffic to get to detect um, any malicious activities, or to just detect whether there are threats. Just a minute. Okay, sorry, I'm not used to talking for that long. Now, agriculture, which again is a very important aspect of our economy, look at it in terms of supply chain. Okay, so sorry, we said supply chain. Look at agriculture in terms of predicting maybe the weather, or getting to see which particular crops can be planted in any particular area. So agents can be used to do that, and I believe there are already existing agents that do that particular job. Now, under supply chain, instead of waiting for a human being to come and check the inventory, the agent can notice that the inventory is running low and get to make orders, okay, to refill the inventory. And also it can get to predict, maybe whether a product is currently on demand or not. All that could be done with AI agents. Now, something that is currently in use, that is autonomous vehicles. We have seen them on the road. I don't know if they are in your country. Maybe you can drop in the chat box whether you've seen autonomous vehicles that work on, real-time GPS, and can navigate comfortably around unpredictable terrain and get to work comfortably. You have seen what an agent is and what is required to get an agent. Now, how do you develop an agent? There are three ways to come up with an agent. The first one is for those who are in technology and are good at coding. You can decide to fully develop your agent via code. Okay, so some of the tools you can use are Longchain, Llama Index, Creo AI, or just Python and Vertex AI SDK. Okay, or you can decide to use minimal code, where you go the flow with the AIBIA or N8N, which is actually quite common in building agents, Zapier AI, or the Vertex AI Agent Builder. Okay, or you can decide to go completely no code. This is also for beginners who just want to get an agent but have no knowledge whatsoever of coding. Okay, you can use Dialogflows, TX, or GPTs, just or Bubble AI plugins. Now, for our particular practical bit, we're going to use the two methods. We're going to use full control and no code. So we're going to have one workshop or experiment where we create an agent using Python, and also we're going to try creating an agent without code. Okay. Now, moving on to the challenges and risks. Wow. Okay. So AI is with us, and a lot of people say that AI has come to replace jobs. I say that because we still hear them saying it, but for those who have already integrated AI in their disciplines, they get to understand that AI is only here to make work easier for you and not really replace your job. AI is more specifically here to help you do the job better. Yes, and not to replace it. Now, number one problem or challenge that comes with agentic AI is how to handle it. Okay, it's a bit complex, and it's complex mostly in the unpredictable real-world environments. When you create an agent in an environment like a testing environment, you cannot really equate it to how it will perform in a real-world situation, because again, we know it's really unpredictable. Now, an issue that is actually even active currently is the ethical concerns, because you see, you're having an AI agent do almost everything for you. Take an example of the inventory system. It gets to make an order, pay for the items, and all you get is the updated inventory and the product. Now, maybe just to ask, how many of you would trust an AI agent with your M-Pesa? Sorry, I said M-Pesa because I'm Kenyan. With your, how do you call them? With your bank, with your bank accounts. So that maybe if you're on a monthly subscription of airtime, if it transfer, the agent pays it for you. Okay. Me too, I wouldn't trust it, but it's okay. How many of you would trust your AI agent to submit assignments for you in school? Okay. So what is the difference? How many of you would trust your AI agent to do exams for you? Assuming exams are online, every time it's exam time, they just, oh, okay. But you wouldn't trust them with your bank account details? Yeah, that is the I don't know how the paradox. Yeah. Now there is a disadvantage that started more or less as an advantage. Okay. We have said with agentic AI, you only have to give it a goal. Once you have set the goal, it's not your business to know how that goal will be achieved. Okay. So an agent's entire existence purpose is to make sure that it achieves that particular goal. So you can imagine you've been given one particular task like AI. Your job is to get good at AI, nothing else. Your whole existence revolves around making sure that you understand AI. How far out would you go to make sure that you find the best way to understand AI? Now that is an disadvantage with the agentic system. It is so much into making sure that it does the best each and every time, or it finds the best method to achieve that particular goal, that it could end up having a redirection. Okay, that is why it is important for you to specifically state the goal, because if you don't, and if your goal is a bit ambiguous, then the agent is going to try and make it better each and every time until eventually it will go out of scope. Okay. Now, an agentic system works on several agents. So if you have an agentic system that has, let's say, for example, 5 agents, what happens if one agent fails? Now, let's take it back to the example of the inventory system. If you have an inventory system, the first agent checks on whether the stock is running low or not. Okay, that is the first agent. The second agent checks on finding the best supplier of the particular product. Okay, the third agent makes the order. The fourth agent pays for that particular order. Now, the third agent places a wrong order. What do you think happens to the entire system? It fails, right? So that is a risk that comes with having an AI agent, because machines are prone to making mistakes, though not common, but mistakes are there. So if that particular agent makes a mistake, then that means the agent has failed to achieve its particular goal, the agent system. Again, a mistake can come from you as a human being. You can make a wrong prompt, or again, you can make it so ambiguous that the agent does not understand what it's doing. So imagine having an agent that works perfectly but does not have a clear goal. it does not know whether at the end it has to make the orders for the running the for the products that are running low, or whether it has to send you feedback on the products that are running low. So you have to specifically state what you want the agent to do. And if you don't, then that means the agent will not work as effectively as you want it to. Now, I don't know if there are any questions, so maybe I could answer before we look at the future of agentic AI. Sorry, Miriam, do you have any questions on the chat?
Checking. I mean, a few people raised their hands, but I'm not sure that they were asking quite. Okay, yes. Olakunle Yusuf, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello. How
Hello.
can we use, like the question I also asked that, how can we use the AI? Like, are we using it or we are programming it, or like, I don't understand it very well. Can you just explain it further?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Yusuf. So there are different ways to use it. Now, number one is, as we said, you can develop a code that creates an agent that does it for you, that does the work that you want for you. So you can decide to code the agent from scratch. Or number two, you can decide to use, you have existing platforms or products that help you create an agent, though not from scratch. So Yusuf, we're gonna see that more when we move to the practical bit. So yeah. I hope that is okay. You will get answered a bit more clearly when we do the practical. Any other question? Yes, Faith, see your hand is up.
Hello, Faith. Can you unmute your mic and ask your question? Faith, are you there?
I don't think she is. Sorry, my own network went off for a second. Okay. Okay, I don't think she is. I can't even find her anymore. All right. I think Yusuf, Nakuna Yusuf is clear on the question he had asked. Is there any other person then who has a question? Okay, Faith is back. All right, Faith, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. My question is that you explained that the agentic AI is a composition of agents. Can you have generative agent as well in that composition, or that's something different? Agentic AI has a lot of agents in it. Can it have a generative agent as well in the loop?
Okay. Hi, Faith. Thank you for the question. And your answer is yes. Now, we briefly brushed through the components of an agent. Okay. Now, we have different types of agents. We have goal-based agents, generative agents, like learning agents, and all that fall under the different types of agents that can be found inside a generative or agentic AI model. I don't know if that is answered. You could have them all, either one or a hybrid of the different types of agents inside one agentic AI system. Okay, thank you, Faith. Blessing, can say your hand is up.
Hi, Hope. Thank you so much for this. Really eye-opening. My question is, for someone that not a tech person that only do the coding stuff, how can they build an AI agent? Or is it only for people that can code and all that?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question a bit clearly.
Okay, can you get this? Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
All right. So my question is, for someone that is not technically inclined, like someone that does not code, how can they build AI agents? Or is it only for people that code?
Oh, okay, I get you. That is an amazing question. So now, yes, you can create an agent if you do not know how to code, because we do have platforms that enable you to use the drag and drop method to create an agentic AI system. Okay, so during the practical, I'm going to show you just a small example of how you're going to do that. But one of the most common sites or platforms for creating an agentic AI system without coding much, we have N8N. It's pretty common. You just drag and drop. Okay. But for this particular one, I'm going to show you just a simple way to create a search AI without coding. I hope that is answered.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. You said NAI, the example.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any other question, or can we proceed?
Please, let's proceed. I don't think there are any more questions for now.
Okay, thank you. So again, the feature of AI. So agentic AI is set to transform not only developers or individual users, but also enterprises, which is very important. It's gonna automate the problem solving process and ensure that there is seamless integration in several sectors with little or no human involvement. Okay, but now agentic AI highly depends on high quality data provided, and also there has to be a very clear and transparent process when the agent is making decisions. Okay, we have now a very good example of an AI agent. How many people have accepted cookies in any site that they have visited? Cookies. Okay. Could anyone tell us what cookies are and what they do? Anyone? Anyone with an idea of what cookies are and what they do? Okay, they collect data. So imagine having an AI agent that collects data. Yes, it collects the data, but where does that data go? When you're accepting those cookies, do you know where they go? Or do you know what happens? Or do you know what data they're collecting? Yeah, and some sites have had it as a mandatory requirement for you to accept the cookies. Like there's no other option. You have to accept it for you to proceed. So it's very important for us as humans to understand what exactly these agents are doing to ensure they reach our goal. Okay. So if it's making sure that it's helping with your preferences on that particular site, I'm sure in the very long wordings they have explained somehow because I believe it's a requirement for us to get to know what they're doing. So they normally state what they're going to use the data for, or what kind of data they are taking, whether it's your your login details, so that the next time you access the site, you don't have to log in again. Whatever it is, I'm sure they state it for you so that you get to understand what data they're taking and what it's going to be used for. Okay, so I think with all that talking, we to save on time. Okay, I think time is already past. We can move to the practical side of it, which is actually exciting. So I'm gonna share a notebook link. By notebook, I mean a Google Colab notebook. So there are two sections. The one that you require to code, okay, the developers section and the no code section. So we're gonna start with the developer section. Miriam, may I know how much time I have so I know how to go through it?
We have about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. So unfortunately for that, I'll have to take you through my end of the collab, and then I could share it later in the community. That is okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, very quickly, let me switch screens.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Let me switch my screen. I'm gonna stop sharing and then I share again.
You want to switch your screen? Yeah, I can
Yes.
go ahead do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So are there any more questions for Hope based on the topic agentic AI? I know that this is mostly introductory, but if you have a question or an insight you also like to share on the topic, please go ahead and do so. Okay. No questions so far. All right. Now to the practical part. Hope you can go ahead.
Okay, so for the beginners, please don't get worried. Baby
Hi,
steps.
sorry for interrupting, but the Carolina 10 was showing her parts on the cam. She was naked. If you can name them, please.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I
Silence,
didn't get that.
Camila. Silence, please.
Sorry, I didn't get that. I don't know if that was directed to me. I didn't get it.
Please, Hope, go ahead and
Okay.
continue.
Okay. So sorry, my thoughts are not numbered, so I'm just gonna quickly walk through what every particular cell does. So this again, for initializing, I'm gonna need to install a few frameworks and also get to import a few models to work with. So the first cell is for importing that, and then I'm gonna move to. So for this particular case, I am creating an AI agent that scrapes on the internet for research papers. Okay, I'm gonna specify the topic of that research. Sorry, I'm gonna specify the topic of that research paper, and then it's gonna send it to my email with the title of the paper, the link to the paper, author and year, and then a short summary of the paper itself. So this is for the AI summary, I need my Hugging Face token. That's why you can see I have a Hugging Face code. And then I'm going to specify the source email and the receiver email. All that, please allow me just brush through to save on time. And then after that, since I like testing as I go, this particular cell is for testing whether my email is reachable. Okay, so it's gonna send an email to my receiver email to tell me that it's able to reach my email. And this cell is for checking whether my Hugging Face token is active. Okay, so as you can see, my Hugging Face token is valid and it has my name. Now, this is where the work happens. For this particular case, I'm using this site RxViv that is open. It's open to anyone to use, and you can scrape data from that particular site. Now, moving on to, okay, now this is it. After searching on the internet on that particular site, I have specified my title to be low resource languages. Okay, so it's looking for papers that have been published in that particular site that has the content of low resource. So with this, I got 10 papers. They're not 10 papers, but I did specify the maximum to 10 so that my collab would run a bit faster because it uses my CPU and I have around 8 GB, which is not advised. So moving on, this is where I make the AI summarization. There's a hand up.
Hope, please go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Hope, are you there? Hope, are you still there?
I think it's a network.
Okay. All right. Okay, she's left the meeting. Okay, everyone, please let's just give her a minute to come back on. Okay, Hope, are you back?
Mariam, please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry for that. Now I am accessing my email. This is the receiver email that. Sorry, this is the receiver email that is receiving the emails that I have sent from my collab. Okay, so this is the first email that I sent to test whether my email is reachable. Okay, and this second email has sent me a list of the 10 papers with a summary. I don't know if you're able to see that. So the links are working. You're able to click on the link and get to access the paper from the official site. Now, that is for the Colab side. We're going to move on to the no-code side. And for this particular one, I used Google, okay? I used the Google Vertex AI Agent Builder. So Google has a product that can help you create an agent without coding. And it's called a Vertex AI Agent Builder. So let me switch on to that site. And this particular site, I have had it, I've made it to do the same thing, provide me with recommendations for research papers in a topic that I pick. But now, unlike the one on Colab that's sent to my email, on this particular site, I get to search for the papers myself. Okay, so could anyone really quickly type on the chat box any topic you want me to search on? Any topic that you want me to search? Miriam, I'm not able to see my screen. Could you just tell me the, yes?
Maybe any topic at all.
Yes, any topic.
Okay, systems of intelligence.
Okay, let's see what we get. Systems of intelligence. Okay, so it's searching. Now, what this particular agent is going to do, it's a search, it's an AI search agent. Okay, so it's going to search for papers that have these words written. This is a bit broad, so let me just try a smaller search. We can say low resource again. Don't know why I use it a lot. Low resource languages. Okay, so you can see I have papers on low resource language. Could you give me one language to search? Like, I don't use a Kenyan language. Let me see if I remember the language, right? So when you search for that particular word, you get papers that revolve around that particular topic. Now, how did we do this? You need to have your Google Developer Cloud platform, okay? So once that is, let me share a different screen to just show you real quick. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so under the list of products here, there is a dashboard on the far left. You're going to scroll down to Vertex AI, and with Vertex AI, you're going to get your options, okay? So you have the agent builder that could build an agent. You get to see all those options. So for this particular agent, you're going to create a Vertex AI search agent. So you click on Vertex AI search. Now, we have several things you could create. By things, I mean agents. Just a minute. Okay, so for this particular project, I used the site search with AI mode, okay? So you're gonna create an agent for site searching with AI mode. Again, remember for the particular, for every agent you need a prompt, memory, and you can remember the last requirement, you can type on the chat box. So let me just write GenAI. Okay, company name, just this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay. After declaring the app name, you can go to the next. Now this you need a data store. Again, you require memory. I had created one before for low resource. We can still use that instead of creating a new one. Or, since this is the important part, this is what you need when you're creating an agent memory, okay? You can decide to get the content from our website or an API if you have one. Let's say you have data on Hugging Face. You can get an API for that and then you link it to this particular data store, okay? So for our case, I'm gonna use website content. So website content, you're required to input the URLs of the websites you want to scrape. I don't know if that is okay. So you get to select the sites that you want to search and the sites that you want to exclude searching. For example, I'm going to use the same RxViz. So I'm going to say W. You have a format. There's a format after the prompts. You can see how you're required to have your, I think that is the format here, .com. And for this, I'm going to use one site that is a bit restricted, that is ResearchGate. It's not a must for you to have we have researchgate.com. Again, you are provided the format, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, give your data store a name. Okay, so let's just say GenAI. Get the difference. Okay, so as you can see, we have created a second data store for this particular AI agent. You're gonna use the GenAI data store, and you have successfully created the app. I don't know if you're able to see. So once you get this particular window, if you want to see how your app works, you click on preview. So when you click on preview, you get to see how you can access the agent from the front end side. I don't know if that makes sense, from the viewer side. So that brings us to where we were before. You can search for, let's see if we get the same answer. This one specifically will search on one site, the RX field. Okay, so let's say artificial intelligence. Okay, I don't know, it's not working on this end. But for, I don't know if I could access the data store for the other one. I did select a few more sites to check. So maybe that could be the reason. So that's it. I don't know if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you. And finished right on time. All right. Are there any questions? Oh, let me show my face again. All right. Hello. Are there any questions? Do you have any questions from anybody? Because I know it's a short practical, but I think it's to guide us. And luckily, this meeting would be available as a replay on our YouTube channel, so you could always watch again to go back to the practical. And Hope will be sharing her slides as well, so you could have that resource with you. Olakuni raised his hand. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
I want to ask that. And it's just about the practical. Like that code that she writes, that code, like if you want to code it, like no, we can use Visual Studio. Like are we using Visual Studio or Google Cloud? Which one are we using?
Okay. Hope.
Okay, thank you. Particularly for this case, I'm using Google Colab, but you could use Visual Studio. But the code is on Colab.
All right. So I guess that answers that. You could use Visual Studio, but she used Google Cloud in the demo. Are there any more questions? All right, Lakone, go ahead.
But she not teach us how to code it now. She already coded, she just show us this thing. Or when are we having the class of the code?
Okay. Hope, is there would you be able to maybe provide a recording of how you wrote the code? Or Grace, what are your thoughts? I don't know how we're going to do that. I know she used the pre-written code. Hope any
So I could answer that. I am available if you'd like to learn the entire process of the coding. Yes.
Okay.
For the interest of time, we would have done it here. So
Yeah.
yes, so maybe if we get time.
Yes, 100% understood. So because of time, you can't really start doing from the code from scratch, but you could reach out to Hope on the community, and I think she already shared that email. So, or you could reach out to Grace as well on the community and just say, oh, you'd like to learn how Hope wrote the code for the Agentic AI workshop. And hopefully she should just speak with you on that. And later, I think that what we are working on, we are like creating like a more thorough resource kit, so stuff like this would be available for people to at least get their hands in the soil and the mud in a bit when they are starting to learn about these topics. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. Are there any more questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, Olakune.
When are we having the next class?
Then I don't quite know. The year is wrapping up, so I don't know what we have in store per se for December. Grace, are we having? I don't know if we're having another workshop this year, but I know there will be another event before the year wraps up. So it's usually on a bi-weekly basis. So probably in the next 2 weeks there should be something else again. Grace, is there?
Yes, we have a workshop coming up. So the main thing is he should just be on the WhatsApp, hope you're on the WhatsApp, the community WhatsApp. So you follow up every information we are having, every workshop we post, and you'll be in our train of action.
Thank you. All right, then. Thank you so much. So there's another workshop coming up. Events are usually in a bi-weekly format. So just like keep your ears to the ground. And if you follow us on social media as well, you definitely will not miss anything. They're going to be dropping the links on the group, on the chat box while we wrap up. But I just wanted to say really quickly, thank you to everyone who has been a part of this community, and those of us who are just, joining the community and joining our events for the first time. We hope that this was worth it for you. And like I've been saying, this is the first of many, and this is one of many that we've already had. So please do something what you've learned today, right? Mastery is not a day's work. You basically work on it and work on it and work on it, and until you get there. So that's just going to be it from me. But thank you so much for being a part of this. The WhatsApp community link has been dropped to the chat box. I was trying to find the Discord and the Telegram, but at least join the WhatsApp. The links to the other channels are on there. We have very interesting conversations, and there are lots of resources on that community platform, a whole lot. I think every 2 days there's always something to learn, a course to take. So we are really just trying to make sure that we educate ourselves as much as possible, because one thing that we really believe in here is that the future belongs to those who want to create it, right? It won't just happen. And we are not a people that wait for the future to just happen. We basically work into creating what that future will be. And if you can study what work is going to look like in the next decade, you would know that artificial intelligence and all the things it entails is important to learn. So like, let's learn as much as we can today. And it has the potential to affect every field out there, from healthcare to education to agriculture and real estate and fashion and arts and film and media, all things media and policy making and statistics and all of these things, documentation. So let's really do what we can with what we have. So yeah, and that's basically it. Thank you so much again for joining the workshop today. Like I said, keep your ears to the ground, follow us on social media, and you definitely not miss out on any of our events. But in other news, AIBIA, who is the parent company of African Women in AI Hub, we have a Twitter space on the 29th of November, so that's next week. Yeah, this Saturday. So I think that's next week Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, on Twitter, currently X, and it's for those interested in AI in education. The AI in Education Hub is having a flagship event where we'll be discussing about what learning looks like and how AI can potentially transform classroom learning. So if you're interested in how to improve your learning as a student of life or whatever field right now, if you're an educator or a tutor that's trying to improve your classroom experience, that's going to be an event for you. So yeah, don't miss out on that. 29th, like I said, please follow us on social media. We are there on social media, African Women in AI Hub, and then African Women in AI. And for AIBIA, we are just there as AIBIA. So yeah, see you guys soon. Thank you again for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. It's been a pleasure, and goodbye.